Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster Evan here, and you're watching the Anonymous Republic Network. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I've been thinking about it, but the way we vote over the last number of years, a couple of decades or whatnot, you vote, and you go to the polls and vote for who you want to be president, governor, senator, congressman, congresswoman, whatever office they're running. You vote. You want to vote for this person. Okay. Well, now you have voting by mail, voting ballots. That you get these little things where every election, every 2 years, every 2 to 4 years, and you vote for your favorite candidate or certain, one of those prop number ballots and whatever. But companies will come up with different voting machines. Years ago, they voted by paper, where your vote would be counted. Now we have technology where you can vote for your candidate, for mayor, governor, a lieutenant governor, whatever office they're running. Now, could voting by phone be in the future? Well, I've always find it, people don't want to go out in the polls, guys stay in line and all that other shit, but yet they get these mail-in ballots, they get in the mail, they do their thing, and they send it out. Now, what I have is I have my phone here. It's a here. Whatever. But the whole thing is that could voting by phone be in the future? Because in my opinion, this is where I stand here. It's kind of a cool idea, but also a bad idea. Now, there's been cases of voter fraud over the years, and
Sir, I was just finishing up a job for you.
And people that did vote do not know if their vote count. Now, there's this war on conservatives. And there has been a war on conservatives for the last 4 or 5 years. And why is there a war on conservatives? It's been the liberals, moderate, the progressives, the socialists, Democrats, even the Marxists going after the conservatives. It's getting as bad as conservatives, whether you're a Republican, whether you're an independent, Libertarian, Green Party, whatever whether you're registered as. For me, I'm a conservative, but I'm a Libertarian conservative. Now, my concern is that you have a right to vote. You have a right to get your voice heard. You want your vote to count as you voted for the candidate you want. Okay? Now, when I mentioned the whole phone thing, voting by phone. is that, again, could this be in the future within 25, 30, 40 years, even 50 years from now? Possibilities? Is it a possibility? Maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. We don't know yet. But the big fear is that if you vote by your phone instead of the mail-in ballots that they send you in the mail, not all of them are counted. There's been concerns over these ballot things you get in the mail are thrown away. They're being thrown in the garbage by mail carriers. And it is bad because you as an individual, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or a third party as an independent, a Libertarian, Green Party, it's a concern that everybody has. And it is because you as an individual, you have a right to vote. Now, back in the day, black people couldn't vote. Women were allowed to vote. It was mainly men, white men, that did the voting. But now you have women, now you have black people that do vote. You have Hispanics that do vote, which is a damn awesome thing. You have a right to have your voice heard by voting, marching, even protesting peacefully. Now, the technology we have today is more advanced. I mean, literally more advanced than it was than 55 years ago. 55 years ago. Our phones have more power than NASA. I mean, you could be. Imagine the power. Imagine the power in your hands here. Absolute more power than the computer at NASA. More power than the rocket was used to launch Apollo 11, Apollo 12, Apollo 13. Basically the whole entire NASA project during that time. More power than the space shuttle itself, right? I mean, the technology we have is pretty badass, cool, but also very scary. Because if y'all ever seen the film by Stanley Kubrick, 2001: Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick. And there's this AI, HAL. For AI, he's a scary motherfucker. Now you have Cortana, you have Siri, you have Alexa. AI is built by Apple and Amazon and Microsoft. I like Cortana because I'm a big Halo fan. Halo is the baddest game. But the scariest technology is what we have now. You have China, they got their, every corner is a fucking camera in the corner. They got facial recognition, they got all this shit. We have that here too. Your phone is basically keeping tabs on your ass. Except we got apps that could block that shit, because these phones can work both ways. It's a technological double-edged sword. And it is scary. I like it. Am I fear of it? In a little bit. Why? I'm the kind of guy that likes my privacy. Okay? My privacy. Everybody else likes their privacy. Okay? Go on the internet. I mean, even before, back in the day, you use Internet Explorer. There's no HTTPS. It's always that HTTP, which is like you go online. They're gonna record what you go online to. They're going to collect that information, your browsing information, until we got some browsers that started to really do some work. Tor, Mozilla Firefox. I mean, Mozilla started this whole thing. You want to go on private. You want to go through this tunnel where nobody can find out what site you're going on, or how can they collect data, browsing data off you? Well, there's been different browsers and different message apps like Signal and Wickr and shit like that. I use a VPN called Orbot. I love Orbot. It's badass out there. But voting by phone. Now, could this be in the future within 30 years, 40 years, maybe even 50 years? We don't know. Could it happen? Maybe. Probably. Because the technology we have now is becoming more and more ahead of its time. It's awesome. First smart cell phone came out 81, 82. Well, it was between 80 and 82. The home computer between 80 and 83. Okay, gaming consoles came around in the late 70s. Still, they're still bringing them out from Atari to ColecoVision to TurboGrafx, Nintendo, Sega, and you name it. We have PlayStation, Xbox. When was the last time you saw a Nintendo console? It is what it is. We're advanced in technology now than we were 40 years ago, 45 years ago. But here we're talking about voting. Could we be voting by phone, by your smartphone? And not just going to the polls and vote, or getting one of those mail-in ballot things that they send back, which we all know half of them don't really go anyway. It's a question that I have. I bet that everybody else has had that same question. Will it happen? We don't know. I don't want to really think that far ahead right now. I just want to live for the moment, day by day. I want to live for now. I want to live day to day. I want to think far ahead because that's probably be, you have people who are wanting to ask this question, but also don't want to answer it because it's like when you look at social media. Nobody thought of having social media. You had Alta Vista, which was before Google. Well, Alta Vista was like a search engine before Google, before Bing, before even Yahoo's search engine. but you had different browsers. You know, I mean, Internet Explorer was okay until then you realize it's not really secure, because back in the early 90s, when the late 80s, early 90s, when the whole PGP thing came around, where it's pretty good privacy. And during the Clinton administration, they had a war on encryption, which, hey, look, motherfucker, I want to keep my shit private, okay? You know? But also, you want to vote private, you know? You don't want anybody to know who you voted for, and it is private, you know? Now, I do believe that I think the whole voting by phone thing in the future, I think if it happens, you should do it where you do it on a secure platform on your device, whether it's your phone, your PC, or even your tablet, because your tablet is kind of like your giant phone. But hey, look, let's worry about now and not then. Okay. The president made a good point, is that voting mail ballots are not safe. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever had that issue where you send in your mail-in ballot and shit like that. Where they send it in, you vote in for president or Congress, or I mean whatever office that's the person is running for re-election for. DA, whatever office they're running, and that's the big fear right now. You're seeing mail delivery carriers throwing away these ballots because some of them are either they're doing it just for spite, or they're doing it for whoever and whatever. I would think that this is really fucked up. I think that you should have a right to have your voice heard, your vote count. I do believe that. But the concern is that there's voter fraud involved in this. You send in your mail-in ballot, or you go to the ballot box itself in person. I mean, you don't know if the vote's going to be reversed for the other person, because it has happened. When Bush was in office, Bush 41, there were complaints that someone voted for Al Gore, but the vote was reversed to George W. Bush. Voter fraud there. Okay, now, 4 years ago, okay, 4 or 5 years ago, when the 2016 election, people for Hillary, they bring in people from out of state, from out of state, and they would buzz them in, have them vote, and even have dead people voting. Okay? I mean, they had a couple of people who voted last time was 1920 or 1940 and died during that time. They're dead. How can they vote again 70, 80 years ago? You know what I'm saying? They're doing this to help Hillary. And now what the big fear is, mail-in ballots. Big fear. The president didn't say you can vote twice. He said, if you feel like, I don't know how he perturbed it, but it made sense. Do you understand? I don't vote mail-in ballot anymore. I don't vote no more. I mean, even though it's my duty as an American to vote, but I'm not voting. Okay, simple as that. I'm a libertarian conservative. Now, here we all know that YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter have an issue. They're having a war on conservatives. If you're a conservative voice on YouTube, you're screwed in a way. If you're a conservative voice on Facebook and Twitter, in a way, you're screwed. If you post something, Facebook would say, fact check, this is bullshit. Which is like, let me give you an example here. I did a video on YouTube. Or Facebook Live, whatever it is. And I shared it. Me as a person on Facebook had a little conversation, and I mentioned about Black Lives Matter. And I posted that I never said anything about not liking black people. Hey, I like black people. I think they're cool. And Facebook took it out of content, and all of a sudden, like, just 2 months ago, they put it back because they realized they took it out of content, you know, and why they do it is beyond anything, beyond me. They always do it. When you post something factual, they'll say, well, here's a fact check. Not really true. Facebook fact checkers aren't really fact checkers. They're people at the top, like Google and YouTube. If they don't like anything, they're going to discredit you. And it is really fucked up, folks. Now, now Twitter, for example, I was tweeting about Joe Biden's dumbass son and John McCain's ditzy blonde daughter, Megan. And all of a sudden, holy shit, you know, I had my entire page, my Twitter page entirely gone. They wiped it, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? So, like, they took it seriously to the heart. What the fuck, dude? You know? Like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting here, I'm like blown away on this shit, man. You know, like, people at Twitter take things too fucking seriously. You know, like how I perturbed Meghan McCain and I would call it Biden Jr., what his name is, as retards. You know, all of a sudden, poof, there goes my page. Like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? So I've been kind of questioning on I mean, I like the idea to save time, but also my concern is that your vote can be hacked to reverse to somebody, to their candidate. I mean, I would love to vote by my phone or my computer, but the thing is, the biggest fear is that the vote would be reversed to the other candidate, where voter fraud. I mean, the idea is kind of a good idea, but also a bad idea. Because anything can happen. Like, you're linked up to this server, and that vote goes to that server, and you don't know where that server is from. or at or whatever it is, or who's controlling it. That's the big outcome, folks. Like, holy fucking shit, damn it! Like, what the hell? You know, like, I mean, it's a big concern. It is a concern. But get your vote out. Get your voice heard. Okay. And make sure you have your cup of coffee, man. All right. This is good old Grandmaster Revan here, and you watch the Anonymous Republic Network. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, hit the bell for notification, and if you've got this transmission, you are the resistance. I'm Grandmaster Revan. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is power. Always be healthy, well and wise. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.